Kia ora everyone, my name is Carl Condolif and welcome to this pre-learning session for FlipconNZ 2017. In this brief video I'm going to introduce some thoughts around what it means to repurpose your class time via Flip Learning, which will segue nicely into my first workshop at this year's conference. The learning outcomes here feature across both this video and the conference session. The three learning outcomes are to understand why content creation is not the be-all and end-all of the Flip classroom, to develop a structure for efficiently repurposing your class time, and to become confident with tools that support the Flip classroom. To demonstrate success as you work through this video and the conference workshop, you'll be able to confidently describe why we need to go beyond the content creation to maximize the power of the Flip classroom, have a working lesson structure allowing you to check student understanding and build on prior knowledge gained from your Flip videos, and be able to use automated quizzing to track student understanding and shape your learning experience. So what does repurposing your class time mean? For me, it's well represented by the rocket icon there. Despite what many people think of physical education, we do actually have an academic component to our learning area. Having the opportunity to flip my classrooms, I can fast track my student learning, spend less time chalking and talking, and have them learning these concepts in contexts that are authentic and meaningful. When we can get away from the traditional chalk and talk, we can begin to provide more relevance for our students. Utility value is one way we can achieve this. By exploring content in more relevant contexts, we can better emphasize the importance that content has for our students' future goals, both short-term and long-term. They're more hands-on and can better grasp the real-world links their newfound knowledge can provide. So what does repurposing class time mean for you? How do the demands of your learning area shape the way you flip your classroom and move away from a traditional approach? We make a lot of noise and spend a lot of time concentrating on how we can make good content that engages our students and leads to better learning outcomes for them. But observing a flip video outside of the classroom is not going to automatically lead to increased achievement in the classroom. For that to happen, we need to focus on structure, habits, and routines succeeding the observation of any flip content we have provided. I want to take some time to highlight what a traditional classroom might look like. Now please remember that this is just an example of what it could look like, and traditional classrooms vary according to the teacher and the learning area. In a traditional classroom, the first 5 minutes might be used to introduce the focus or learning objectives of the lesson. Following this, you may talk about the relationship between prior learning and today's new content for 10 minutes. The next 30 to 40 minutes may involve the teacher standing at the front of the class delivering new content in a number of ways. Some of those methods may be exciting, others may just involve the teacher at the front chalking and talking. The last 10 minutes may provide enough time for the teacher to oversee a quick learning activity where they try to bring the lesson content all together. While there is nothing inherently wrong with this approach to teaching, it does present some obvious challenges. The most obvious to me is the lack of time spent on higher order tasks or activities that sit at the upper end of Bloom's taxonomy. By default, the traditional approach lends well to applying, understanding, and remembering things. But we know that focusing on aspects such as creating, evaluating, and analyzing leads to more authentic learning experiences for our students and greater utility value. I really hope that by the end of my workshop in June, you're prepared to challenge this traditional classroom approach and explore more innovative ways to spend your classroom time. This workshop has a fairly practical aspect to it, so it would be fantastic if you could come prepared with the following items. For starters, a very basic understanding of flip learning is going to be handy. While I'm going to describe some basic fundamentals of the flip classroom, I really want to look beyond that and consider how we go about maximizing our classroom time and exploring supporting strategies. Even better will be a flip video you already have handy. This could be some content that you've curated from elsewhere, linking to some lesson content you deliver, or it could be something you've made yourself. A connected device that you know how to use, access to Google or Microsoft Forms. As well as being amazing cloud-based classroom tools, they form an important aspect of the flip classroom for me by providing the opportunity for students to demonstrate that they've digested the flip content I've provided for them. If a student is not digesting the content, then why are we doing this at all? And finally, a unit of work or lesson plan that you can unpack to help guide your flipped approach here. Thank you for checking out this pre-learning for FlipconNZ. This workshop will be taking place in a 1 to 2 p.m. slot on Friday the 23rd of June, which is day 1 of the conference. And I'd love you to come along and learn more about strategies to reinforce student understanding of your flip content by repurposing your classroom time using a range of tools, approaches, and routines. But in the meantime, please feel free to engage with me via email, Twitter, or on YouTube.